Welcome to the week that was. I'm Ed Greenberger. As Joe Biden continues to lead the way in the polls, President Trump hit the airwaves on Tuesday night for a town hall with ABC's George Stephanopoulos. I don't want to call it a disaster. Let's just say if Hurricane Katrina and the towering inferno had a kid, it would look like this.
A good question is you ask, like Joe Biden, they said, we're going to do a national mandate on masks.
He's called on all governors to have them. It is a state responsibility.
No, but he didn't do it. I mean, he never did it.
Okay, we've asked this question before in a joking way, but now I'm dead serious when I wonder, does this guy know he's the president? What other explanation is there for him criticizing Joe Biden for not implementing a national mask requirement? We haven't seen a chief executive this bonkers since the 1970s.
200,000 acres. 200,000 acres. What'll it cost, man? What'll it cost?
A box of these.
Are you crazy? They'll never go for it. And then again, they might. Little red devils, they love toys. May I try one?
Please do, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. These things are defective.
Right as usual, sir.
Show off.
I always wondered how many takes they needed for Harvey Korman to nail that paddleball thing. Now, if you think that Trump clip was nuts, wait until you hear the very next thing he said.
There are a lot of people think the masks are not good. And there are a lot of people that, as an example,
Who are those people?
Well, I'll tell you who those people are. Waiters, they come over and they serve you and they have a mask. And I saw it the other day where they were serving me. And they're playing with a mask. I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying what happens. They're playing with a mask, so the mask is over, and they're touching it, and then they're touching the plate. That can't be good.
No, it can't be good. It's never good when your president is asked a question about why he didn't back a national mask requirement after 200,000 people die, and his answer is because he doesn't want waiters to wear them. Also, Trump began that statement by saying a lot of people think masks aren't good. Stephanopoulos asked him who, and instead of listing people who don't think masks work, he gave us an example of people he doesn't want wearing masks. It's always about him. Besides, when does Trump even have a waiter? I've never seen one at KFC. Just moments later, Trump was asked about health care, and Stephanopoulos stepped in to call him on his crapola.
You've been promising a new health care plan. I interviewed you in June of last year. You said the health care plan would come in 2 weeks. You told Chris Wallace that this summer it would come in 3 weeks. You promised an executive order on pre-existing.
I have it already.
But you've been trying to strike down pre-existing conditions.
I have it already, and it's a much better plan for you, and it's a much better plan. And
what is it?
Yeah, I'm with George. What is it, Donnie? You've been talking about this new health care plan literally for years, and it's always 2 weeks. We'll be unveiling it in 2 weeks. Maybe 2 weeks on Neptune. Say, Mr. President, are you worried about getting COVID?
I have it already.
Diarrhea?
I have it already.
Gonorrhea?
I have it already.
Geez, this dude's in bad shape. Speaking of COVID, CDC Director Robert Redfield testified on Capitol Hill Wednesday that masks might be even more important in fighting the virus than a potential vaccine, which Redfield said we probably won't have until next summer. Later that day, Trump told reporters Redfield was mistaken. He misunderstood the questions, and the vaccine should be ready by next month. The next morning, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows said this to Fox News.
I'm not sure where Dr. Redfield got his particular timetable, but it's not based on those that are closest to the process.
Okay, so here's what Meadows is trying to sell us. Don't listen to the director of the Centers for Disease Control. He doesn't know anything about vaccines that could control a disease. Forget that guy. He's an amateur. You should be listening to... the game show host who thinks windmills cause cancer? Anyway, who's going to run out to get the vaccine if Trump tries to push it on us before the election? Democrats won't get it because they don't trust anything Trump says or does. Trump supporters won't get it because they think COVID's a big hoax. So who's it for? After an exhaustive review, I've identified the one guy who might actually get the vaccine. He's 32-year-old David Whitmore of Walnut Creek, California, who told me, whatever, maybe the nurse will be hot. Joe Biden held a town hall of his own Thursday night, drive-in style, in his hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania. CNN host Anderson Cooper asked Biden about white privilege, which the former vice president said he's had throughout his life. But then Biden talked about how his blue-collar upbringing in Scranton differentiates him from Trump.
My dad came up here, worked here, lost his job like a lot of people did here. There used to be a bad joke in the 60s in Scranton. No one's in Scranton, everybody's from Scranton, because so many people lost their jobs. We are as good as anybody else. And guys like Trump, who inherited everything and squandered what they inherited, are the people that I've always had a problem with.
A few minutes after that, Trump responded with this tweet.
I have a problem with you, Sleepy Joe. You're weak on China. And I might have squandered everything and gone bankrupt 6 times, but now I own a solid gold toilet and have the money to pay off dozens of rape victims.
We finish up with holiday news. Due to the coronavirus, for the first time ever, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade won't be a parade at all. Instead, it'll be a TV-only event with no spectators, featuring the iconic balloons, but they'll all be on display in and around Herald Square, where Macy's flagship store is located, which is really dangerous because the Game of Thrones dragon balloon does not get along with the Smokey Bear balloon at all. That's the week that was. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel by clicking on the circle. My wife says if I don't have 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month, we won't be able to afford my makeup anymore. Don't forget to check out my other Week That Was videos. I'm Ed Greenberger. Stay safe and healthy. I'll see you next week.